Let's bring in a member of the House Budget Committee. Congressman Addison McDowell is a Republican representing North Carolina. Congressman, really appreciate you being here. So let's start with what's going on today, what may or may not happen tonight. From where I sit, there are still some holdouts for this step to get to reconciliation. I mean, what do you know about a potential vote tonight? Are you confident your side will have the votes?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are going to have the vote tonight, and we've got the votes. This bill does exactly what we promised the American people we were going to do, and it enacts President Donald Trump's agenda that we got a mandate to enforce. It secures the border, and it rebuilds our economy, and it looks for fraud, waste, and abuse. And I think the majority of Americans support that.
Well, and we did hear of some potential holdouts. You're basically saying that you're confident some of the Republicans who are not fully committed right now to this point will come over to your side. I know you're supportive of the bill. Or of the
well, I mean, I think that this bill, it enacts President Trump's agenda. That's what we want to do, and I think that we've got the votes to get it done. And if it comes to the floor, I'm going to be happy to vote for it.
So, and I guess my question, too, is why, what your sense is, why not do what the Senate did? Get an early Republican win with boosting immigration enforcement, as you mentioned, national security, energy production, and then come back to address, for example, tax policy, which was not included on the Senate side. And maybe there wouldn't be some of these potential holdouts. What is your impression of what the Senate did, and why are you more supportive of this route that you all have taken so far?
Well, I've always supported the one bill strategy, and I think that that's important because we've got to get this done. We need to get it done now. The American people elected us to do a job, and they want to see it signed into law, and that's what the House Republicans are trying to do here. I think that securing our border, it's personal to me, and it's something that I want to get done immediately. Rebuilding our economy, it's important to the voters in my district, and we want to get this done. We don't want it waiting around forever. We want to extend these tax cuts. We want to find savings in the government, find waste, fraud, and abuse, and we want to get this on the president's desk and get it signed.
And I know you mentioned taxes, there, and we're showing just some numbers on the screen, what the House budget resolution would do. $2 trillion in spending cuts, $4.5 trillion in tax cuts, $4 trillion debt limit increase. But I just want to pick up on what you said about taxes. I don't have to tell you, you've got a pretty thin majority right now in the House. Republicans do. Were you worried at all or are you worried at all that not addressing Trump's tax plan now would risk letting it expire later this year?
All I know is that we need to secure our border right now, and we need to rebuild our economy that Democrats and Joe Biden broke. That's what I'm focused on, and that's what this bill does. This bill finds savings. It looks for waste, fraud, and abuse, but it's not a policy bill. We need to pass this bill tonight to get the game going and to get the bill into the committee so we can make these decisions. But I don't think that this bill is something that Democrats are trying to make it out to be. The only people talking about cuts are the Democrats, not us. We are talking about securing the border, enacting the president's agenda. That's what this bill does, and we need to get it passed and get to work.
Well, one of the concerns of cuts on the Republican side is the $2 trillion cut. Some Congress people have concerns that it could ensnare Medicaid. Congressman Don Bacon, for example, saying he wants to advance Trump's agenda on national security, energy, and taxes, but doesn't want to make significant cuts to Medicaid. It's not explicitly laid out in this blueprint, but it could be affected. Are you confident that this blueprint wouldn't lead to any cuts in Medicaid?
I'm confident that there's waste, fraud, and abuse in our government and every system that we have. And that's what we're looking to find.
Does that include Medicaid?
There's not a single. If there is waste, fraud, and abuse in any program, we need to find it.
So that includes, just to be clear, sorry, a little bit of a delay, but to be clear, if there's waste, fraud, and abuse as you described it in Medicaid, that would be something you would be supportive of looking at?
Absolutely. If there's waste, fraud, and abuse in anything, I can't imagine there's a single American that wouldn't want us to go and find that. We're trying to strengthen everything in this bill and fix what the Democrats broke. That's the simple point. And so that's what we're trying to do. And I think it's interesting to me that the Democrats want to make this something that it's not, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to do is enact the president's agenda.
I want to ask you, Congressman, about something some of your colleagues have faced, some concerns from their constituents over some of the DOJ efforts, for example. I just want to play some of what we've heard from them.
If I could say one thing to Elon Musk, it's like, please put a dose of compassion in this. These are real people. These are real lives. These are mortgages. It's a false narrative to say we have to cut and you have to be cruel to do it as well. We can do both.
I want to have compassion. I think Elon Musk talked to us about that a long time, a couple of years ago. He said, before he was politically involved, he said, look, the Republican Party could do better by coming across as more compassionate. And I think that's really important.
But you think they've gone too fast here?
I think it needs to be reviewed.
I met a guy at the airport today who works for the FDIC, and he was flying up to New York City. He was quite upset he was going to have to lay people off. And we talked to, he was very angry. And I said, let's just talk about this. What can we do better? He says, you've guys got to communicate better because it's chaos.
Now, you couldn't see them, maybe you recognize their voices, but some of those congresspeople did face in-person concerns from their constituents at town halls. But have you heard any concerns from your constituents about what you believe they should focus on or what they believe DOJ should focus on? And do you believe it has overstepped in any way, either in speed or scope?
My constituents believe that DOJ is on the right track. What Elon Musk and his team are doing is finding waste, fraud, and abuse and putting it into the light. And I think what they're doing is great. Of course, I feel bad for anyone that would lose their job. But if we find waste, fraud, and abuse in our government, we have to cut it. And that's what they're doing. And I don't have a problem with that.
And finally, I know you already said it, but I just got to ask you again, Representative Addison McDowell, are you confident that your side of the GOP will win out tonight on this vote?
I am.
All right. You couldn't tell me anything else, honestly. Congressman, really appreciate the time and perspective. Thanks for being here.
Yep.